Hi there, I'm Alison from Boomerang Pilates and MoveSMART Movement, and today we're going to do a little bit of shoulder work. So you can take a moment in the mirror if you have a mirror handy, and take a look and see if your shoulders are the same height. Most people's are not. We usually have a little bit of a difference in height side to side, and potentially a little bit of difference in terms of the position forward. You're going to lie yourself down, get yourself comfy. If you like something behind your head, you can go ahead and do that. And see if you can slide your arms straight up, palm facing down towards your feet, up over your shoulder, and then come out about a 45-degree angle and see how far down towards the floor you can get. If you can come all the way down to the floor, that's great. And you're going to continue to do that, moving very specifically up, out and back to come down, up, back, straight up over your shoulder, palm facing forward, and down towards the floor. So we're getting a rotation. We're waking up the back of the shoulder joint and the scapular stabilizers. And you can do maybe 20 of those on one side and 20 of those on the other. And even having just done that many, take a look. You can probably see my shoulders are now different, that now my right is lower than my left, and my right is probably a little bit farther back and more open as opposed to my left, which is still rolling forward. However, for some people, they don't have that range of motion, in which case you're going to get, I have a bolster here, you could get a cushion, a pillow, stack of books, rolled up yoga mat, a sleeping bag, doesn't really matter. Something that allows you to take your arm to whatever height is appropriate for you to come out and back with no pain, no significant discomfort. You can sort of push to the edge of what feels a little bit uncomfortable. A friend of mine refers to this as comfortably uncomfortable. Another person talks about the pain you move into rather than the pain you move away from, or the discomfort you move into, where you feel like you're working at the edge of your range in order to build that range, rather than you've moved past your range or past your boundary to a place where you might not be gaining a whole lot anymore. Your body is really going to try and pull away from that movement or that shape. So you would find that right height for you. Maybe you don't need something that high. Maybe you only need a little bit of extra space. And a yoga block or a half dome or a smaller pillow is going to be good for you. You can absolutely play with different heights. So start even with you can go to the floor. You're going to feed different bits of the muscles and different angles and different vectors and different loads if you start high and then go medium and then go low. If you can picture those little wooden toys where it's like a body with 2 arms and 2 legs, and you pull a string from the bottom and the arms and legs move, that's the image I like to think of when I am working on this exercise. So if I think of a string that pulls from the bottom of my shoulder blade, that string pulling down is what's generating the movement of my arm. String pulls down, arm comes up. String pulls down again, arm goes up and out to the side. String slides back up, shoulder and arm move as well. Right, so we're really trying to find the integration and the isolation, the specificity and precision in the joint, but also of bringing those parts together. One of the things that we've been talking about is difference from side to side. So remember also, you might be able to go flat to the floor on one side and need a little bit of support on the other side. So having done a whole bunch of these one side at a time, now start to alternate left to right. If you want to add a breathing practice to this, you can exhale to come back and inhale to come back down. You can also not worry about the breathing. One of the additional things you could ponder is, when you take your arm up and back, are you bringing your whole rib cage with you in order to get there? So you can place one hand across the base of your ribs, and hopefully you don't really feel any big pushing up of the base of your rib cage towards the ceiling. And if you do, see what happens if you pop a little something underneath your head. Does that help your ribs to drop down a little bit? And then keeping your hand on the base of your ribs, now slide your arm up and back. And whatever point you start to feel your ribs flaring up towards the ceiling, that's the place where you bolster your arm. And that's how far back you go as you alternate from side to side. So you're reaching, you're finding that nice sense of connection of the string pulling down and the shoulder blade being able to kind of glide down and turn slightly as you move your arms. And then when you're done, you can sit yourself up super glamorously and then take a look. Hopefully you feel like your shoulders are once again reasonably level, and that you have, I don't know if you remember how far forward my shoulder was when I showed you before, but see how my arm is now sliding back. And I'm not pulling or pushing my shoulders back. That series of motions has just allowed the head of my arm bone to kind of reset itself in the hip socket, so that the lumpy bumpy part at the front of my arm is now turned sideways. So if you think of a Flintstone bone, right, like a really traditional bone with the two bumps at the top and the bottom, you want to have those bumps facing this way, not this way. So this is a super awesome exercise. Feel free to do it every day if you feel like, and see what that does in terms of broadening your shoulders, giving you a nice sense of width, opening up the front of your shoulders, stabilizing and activating the back, and just generally feeling really good. Have fun.